Hello everyone, Sheo here, and welcome for a new series of tutorials for Ultimate Seating Controller. But first of all, what exactly is USC? It is an add-on for Ultimate Character Controller, a versatile character controller made by Obsive for the Unity engine, and which you obviously need to use USC. So the main purpose of USC is to allow any UCC character to board pretty much any other type of object. So what exactly do we mean by board? Basically, when you board an object, the UCC character is parented to it, and control is either shared with it or totally given to it. The main example, of course, would be cars, as you can see in many games like Grand Theft Auto or PUBG. When you board a car, the player is parented to it, teleported into it, or onto a seat more specifically, a, um, a separate car controller is activated, and in addition to this, the item system from UCC remains active all along. So that means that while you are driving using a separate car script, you can still use UCC weapons and perform drive-bys, reload, and switch weapons. And in addition, you can also add another boardable object onto the car, like a turret, which another player can use while his teammate is driving. This system works with pretty much any vehicle imaginable, like a quad bike, a bike, or a tank. We may see this in a later tutorial. USC also allows the use of remote-controlled objects. Like, for example, you can give full control to a tiny tank or even a drone. But for this first video, we are going to focus on a turret, which is a stationary object. And as you can see in the demo scene, you can go even further and control a plane or a helicopter. And you can try and replicate pretty much any example from today's gaming. Like for example, the boat from Uncharted 4, which USC can technically replicate and take care of a transition between TPC controls and boat controls, provided that you already have a script for the boat. Or, if you are feeling really ambitious, you can try boarding a mech like in Titanfall 2. And by the way, keep in mind that USC is very agnostic when it comes to the boarded objects and the script associated with it, meaning that you can both use your own custom scripts or asset scripts onto it, but you can also make the boardable object a UCC character. So in the Titanfall example, you can have both the human character and the Titan character be UCC characters. Alright, now before we begin, please note that this tutorial is for USC only and not for UCC. I expect you to already know the basics of UCC, which I will not explain here. And one more thing, when you import USC, this USC manager should automatically pop up. And you need to click each of these three buttons: Update Input Manager, Add Boardable Layer, and Update Collision Matrix. If you haven't done so, please do it. Okay, so now we're going to start from scratch. I only have a scene with a plane and a simple character. Let's start with a basic UCC setup. We're going to use both perspectives for the purpose of this tutorial. We're going to start with combat for both. Let's hide this. Alright, and now for the character. Once again, take both perspectives and give combat for both. And an animator named Bold Demo is included in USC. It contains UCC's default animation plus some bolding ones. Let's add the arms real quick. Left arm, right arm, oops. Let's give the first person arms demo animator to each. Let's assign the third-person objects to hide one in first-person view. Right, and we're good to go. Right, so that's good. We have a correct combat setup. Now let's have some fun with a turret prefab for a quick start. Just type in turret, look for prefabs. So this is just a model prefab. Here is the setup one. But we can't just use it as is, or rather, like Atlas is. We need to give him a bold ability. So there are two ways to do that. You can use this add-ons manager here in character manager and drag in your character and add abilities and perhaps animations if you don't have them on your animator. But we're gonna do things manually for now. So go into Ultimate Character Locomotion, and you're gonna find the bold ability into Ultimate Seating Controller. And we're gonna put this underneath Move Towards. We're gonna give some ability message text so that the player can know when the ability can be activated. And oh no, what happened? We actually need another camera type. Because the thing is, a specific camera type is necessary for the boarded object. So we need to add both the third and first person vehicle weapon camera types. That's better, we can now move the turret. We can also fire it. But when switching to third person view, things get kind of weird. Why is that? We're gonna need to use the state system to get a better camera. First of all, take this turret and into the bolt source script, get down to this section, and on override state, we're gonna write turret. You're gonna see why in just a second. Go to the camera, and on third person vehicle weapon, you're gonna add or create a new state. So I have one that is already ready. Make sure it is named turret. It's basically a duplicate of the turret vehicle weapon preset. I just set the Y value to -1 so we can be sure to see the character. Now let's see how it looks like. So it's better already, but there's one thing wrong. Do you see how this dude is sitting? He's crouching while he should be standing up. So why is that? We're gonna go back to the board ability and take a look at this offset Y value. So you see this asset is meant to be used by characters of different heights. You can have a regular human, but you can also give the turret to a dwarf or a giant. So that's where the offset Y and the IK come in useful. We're gonna give him an offset of 0.6. It is recommended for the Atlas character. And it's already a bit better. Okay, so this turret isn't amazing right now, but we're going to make our own one, and you'll see it'll be even better. Now, let's get to business and make our own turret. To help ourselves, we're gonna go to Tools, Fastkill Team, Setting Controller Manager. So we're gonna use this setup wizard here. So take the empty turret prefab here and drag it into the Object to Setup slot. Make sure it's set to the boardable layer. We don't care about multiplayer for now. Click this, and ta-da! But we can't use it just yet. First of all, we're gonna rename this turret. And here's the important part, the seat. We're gonna set it to gunner, which is the only role we want onto this boardable object. Rename it gunner as well. So we want the player to be able to switch perspective. He also needs to be visible. If you leave this to false, the player will become invisible. All right, we'll come back to this later. We're going to add the vehicle weapon shooter component. It is a separate component that will be activated when the object is boarded. All right, so first of all, we have this objects to rotate list. There are two things we need to rotate for this turret. First of all, we need this swivel object to rotate along the y-axis. And also, we need the machine gun to rotate alongside the axis, but along a limited angle. We don't want it to go all the way around. So let's tell the vehicle weapon shooter script exactly that. Drag in the swivel, leave this to horizontal input, give him the y-axis. Let's set 50 for smooth. Same for the machine gun. It needs to follow the vertical input, however, and to rotate alongside X. We're going to limit this to about 30, and that should be okay. It's going to need a fire location point next. So this will be the empty transform from which the bullets will be fired and the effects spawned. Sounds about right. I know it's a bit approximative. All right. It's a bit simplistic, but I'm going to just drag the fire location object into these 5 slots. Even though I should maybe make one or two more for more realism. But it'll do for now. So as you can see, this script is quite similar to UCC's item scripts. You can find the impact, firing, use sections. So you should feel at home here. Let's just, where it is. Yeah, decrease the use rate to like 0.05. Since this is a turret and we want it to have some rapid fire. Uh, let's get some effects prefab. So UCC has its own effects prefab, thankfully. I'm gonna take the assault rifle muzzle flash, this one. Let's go for, oh, shell, assault rifle shell, the smoke, and the tracer. And one more thing. Um, Alright, under use, audio config, I'm gonna use the assault rifle as well. There, assault rifle single shot. This will do the trick. Okay. Let's go back to the board source for just a moment. Now that we have added the vehicle weapon shooter component, we need to click on this button at the top that says Update Seats. So what this is going to do is that it's going to connect the vehicle weapon shooter component with the gunner seat, which we can select like this. And just so you see the importance of naming these seats. Uh, there we go. That's how you find them. So it's useful when you have a whole list of seats. Let's rename it gunner again. All right. And this is the fire input name. Let's give it fire 1, which is the input used by the turret for firing. There's an error, and don't worry, this is because of this camera pivot. So I just clicked fix here, and it gave me a pivot for the camera. Basically, this will tell where the camera should be in first-person view. We are going to take example on this object again. So the camera should be positioned like above the rotating machine gun part. So we're going to make it a child of this object. This. Okay, so remember, wherever this is, the camera will follow this object. Right? And we're also going to parent this driver seat to the swivel object because we want the wait, first of all, we're going to name it gunner seat for clarity because we want the UCC character to follow the swivel while rotation. And I'm going to cheat a little bit and copy these values real quick. Allow me to come back on something wrong I just said about the camera pivot, which has a general purpose and basically becomes the new reference for the camera instead of the character. Allow me to demonstrate in-game. Alright, so if we start boarding, so as you can see, the character is well parented to the object, and the camera follows the whole thing, but it is not following the character. Because if we move the gunner seat, underneath which Atlas is positioned, well, the camera does not care about Atlas anymore. It only cares about this pivot right here. Alright, so it becomes the new reference for the camera, and the state system is still effective upon it. And one more thing. We also forgot to assign the turret state here as well. This way the camera should have a better position. That's better. Alright. And you can tweak this at oh sorry, the wrong time. You can tweak this at runtime to get a better understanding of where the camera should be placed. So if you want, you can position it close to this arrow slit-like hole, or a bit further. It's up to you really. I'm gonna leave it like that for the moment. A recent update introduced a bool named AutoFindLinks here. What it does basically is that it tries to find the ability IK targets and assign them to their respective slots. But if you want some guaranteed results, you can also drag them yourself beforehand. And one more thing, if you want your character to play leg animations and not have fixed leg IK. You can leave all to find links to false, only use the hand IK, and leave feet IK links route to none, and set the animator ID to 1. Here's what happens. So as you can see, it works. The legs are animated. However, the character is way too high. So you will either have to set the offset Y to 0, or preferably, I guess, lower the gunner seat position. For now, though, I'm going to keep the IK. Alright, we're almost done. Here is one more thing we have to fix. This move towards location. We can't leave it as it is. Basically, if we leave it like that, when the character exits the turret, he might be teleported to this position, which is not correct. So once again, we're going to take example on this prefab and move this move towards location here underneath the swivel because we need it to follow the rotation as well. So the U offset to 0 and this Z value to 0 as well, and add a box collider. Make it a trigger. This should be good, I think. Yeah. Alright, the exiting isn't perfect. There are some rotation issues. We may see that later on. Great, so our turret is now functional. Let's enjoy it and turn this scene into a Sam Peckinpah movie. Let's use this enemy prefab. Just gonna remove this. And let's remove this as well. That should do it. And let's see how it looks. Great, just one last thing I forgot. No, it's here. Yeah, I'm personally going to deactivate this and let the fire location be the actual source of fire. And then I'm just going to actually raise the camera a bit. Like this. Dance, rascal, dance! It lacks some punch. Let me just... Spawn impact. Let's make it like 35. Taka 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 taka. Alright, that's the end of this first video. You now know the core concepts and purpose of USC, and you have learned how to do a basic setup for a turret and use it to massacre some red guys. I hope it was helpful and you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video, in which we will take a look at standard vehicles. Thanks for watching and have a good day.